What's going on, guys? In this video, I want to go over how I went from being broke to making content that pays me daily. And here's a few pictures to show a bit of my results, so you can even see old screenshots of my bank accounts and then results that I've achieved as well. One of them is hidden by my face. Let me just hide that real quick so you guys can see that. 43,000 on the phone over here, 6,000 over here. And it's all with the skill of content creation. That's what I want to break down for you guys in this video today so that you as well can get started too. Before I get into how this really works, I want to talk a bit about my story, because for me, my story is a bit different from most people. I was a guy behind the scenes. I always wanted to make money on my own, but I was always paid a capped salary, and I couldn't figure out how to get past that. For the life that I wanted to live and the experiences that I wanted to have, I need to have access to more money. So there's something missing here that I need to figure out. I knew that no matter how big the pay was for the salary, I was never really going to have the freedom that comes with it. And that's how my journey started. I wanted to start an online business where I didn't need to put up so much money to get started, and I can still have very high profit margins. And that's not something that you can find in that many different business models out there, which is why I want to explain to you guys why this one has changed the game for me. Because life is different for me now. Now I run organic brands with no ad spend. I consult and I teach the exact same skills that allow me to do this too, and I help other businesses grow and scale, all with this one skill set. Just by learning and maximizing my skills with content creation, I was able to live a life that I never thought was possible. And the results show for themselves. These are a few different results that came from the same skill that have been used in different ventures that I've gotten into. Now I'm showing you guys these results so you can understand that making money from your phone is possible. We had multiple accounts like this that were giving us withdrawals every single day. This is just one of the accounts here where we were receiving daily payouts like $360 per day with the work that we've put in. This same skill we've used in different business models into actual organic drop shipping right here, right? And have used that to make money with that as well. And so much more. All of these results and more that I'm going to show you throughout the rest of this video all came from one skill specifically. And my goal for this video is to show you exactly how I did that so that you will be able to do it too. Now let's get further into my actual journey and how we ended up getting here. Because funny enough, my journey is actually a bit different from most. My journey started by helping other people getting them results. I would coach a bunch of different people to show them how they can use this skill to make money. Let me take my face off so I can show you guys the results that are here as well. But here, this is one of our students. Her name's Victoria. She's a mom of almost 5 kids. And with the work that she's been able to put in, she's made $1.1 thousand for herself in one day, in one sitting, with the skill that she's learned with us, the skill of content creation. We have another one of our students here who closed a client for $1,700 just to create videos for them with their phone. And even more results here, 4K for the month, 1K for the week off of one viral video. That allowed them to make an extra $1,000 in their bank account for that week. A $1,000 day. Now I want you guys to understand, while I was helping other people get this skill sorted for themselves, I was doing this while running my own business. And that's when I hit something I like to call a big entrepreneurial moment. And in that moment, I just asked myself, why am I doing this all for somebody else when I can do this for myself? This was the big question for me because I couldn't find a logical reason as to why I didn't pursue it further in that sense. I have what it takes to use this skill to make myself more money. I have what it takes to teach others this skill and to guide them towards leveraging that for their own businesses. And once I understood that, I realized I can make a change. I can have an impact not only in myself, but in the lives of those that are around me. But what I need you guys to understand is that this isn't another how to make money online video. This is the exact path that I followed, from hating my 9-to-5 to helping others make money to building my own online business. And I'm gonna shed the light on everything in this video because to me, this is the blueprint that I wish I had when I was lost and broke. I want to help you guys get to this point in more than half the time that it took me to get here myself. And in the next few minutes, I'm gonna show you how I and many others have been able to do this. How content and simple systems have created freedom for myself. I don't even need to do much. I just like to enjoy my life. I don't need to have the craziest life or the fanciest lifestyle. I was able to go on a trip with my team to Miami to keep locking in and pushing the needle forward in the business. I was able to also accomplish my own bucket list items. I've always wanted to go to Comic-Con and I finally got that done. I was able to live in my dream city as well. Here's a picture of the apartment. And for the last one, I'm gonna have to take my picture off right here. I was even able to sit in one of my favorite luxury vehicles. This one is a Rolls-Royce Cullinan, and honestly, I can say that if I didn't take this path, I would have never been able to experience any of this. I'm not making this video to flex all my achievements and results for you guys. This is icing on the cake. I'm making this video because I want you guys to understand that this system and how I've been able to implement content within it is a repeatable system that has given my students some more freedom too. It's a system that I like to call the Creative Cash Flow Growth Machine, and it's what powers my coaching program, Creative Cash Flow. I'm not here to show you guys just my success. It doesn't matter the successes that I've achieved. What matters is how I've been able to help others too, because again, this isn't just my success, it's repeatable. We have Evan with 1K on the dashboard here, $123 over here. This was made in just 2 hours worth of work. And obviously, as you can see, my name's up here because we treat our community like family. We actually talk back and forth to make sure everyone's on top of what they need to get done. And even more results, 1K days, 1K in a week, $155,000 in 1 month, all with content in the same system, the same framework. This is a story from the same person specifically. This is his first ever time trying this. He's never had any experience, knew nothing about this, but Tony went and started off with $44 for the day and was excited about that and kept on using our strategies to lead himself to finishing off the day with $258. He ended up finishing that month with like $3,000 extra in his bank account. And even more successes, $700 from your phone, $30,000 from your phone, $15,000 from your phone, $11,000 from your phone. Imagine waking up to notifications like this coming to your phone all the time, telling you someone has ordered on your store for $200. You wake up and you have an extra $200 in your bank account. Wouldn't that make you happy? What would an extra $200 do for you? How would an extra $200 help you? And this is per day, mind you. But even as I show you guys all these results, I want you guys to understand one key thing here. None of these people had big audiences. None of these people had any crazy gear. There was no paid ads involved. They just used their iPhone and started taking a few videos. But with that, they also followed the steps and used the system required to be able to help them achieve these results. There is something that I want you guys to know of. These are the results from people that are in our actual inner circle, what I like to call the Creative Council. And the Creative Council isn't even open to the public right now. But what you're seeing here is the results of a carefully picked group of action takers. And these results came from only implementing the highest performing strategies within their business. Now, if you're sitting there thinking this sounds good, but maybe it's not for you. I get it, because I was that person too. I used to scroll on my phone seeing all these people having their wins and thinking this must not be real. How are they making this happen? I don't get how they make this work. But as I kept going, I ended up realizing this is real. And I'm going to keep showing you how it works. I'm going to reveal everything in this one video. And I didn't make this video, again, just to flex results or give you random motivation. I made this video because I know exactly what it feels like to be where you are at right now. This video is my way of pulling back the curtain for you guys and keeping it real for you, to show you what's actually working right now in 2025. No fluff, no gatekeeping. And if you're anything like me, the main challenge that you're going through is that you are completely lost when it comes to starting online. That's how it started off for me as well. You start convincing yourself that there's a bunch of different things in the way as to why you can't achieve results. You think that you need a bunch of followers. You think you need fancy editing. You need a bunch of money to get started. But that couldn't be further from the truth. People who have this thought process are absolutely wrong. And I'm going to keep showing you why through the rest of this video, because the results using the system prove otherwise. I've already shown you the results that my students have made, and I've already showed you my results. And after having achieved these results, it got to a point where I realized I didn't want to settle. I didn't want to waste my skills and have them collecting dust because I decided to go ahead and grab a quick check. I didn't want to keep scrolling and dreaming while watching other people win and achieve the dream life that I've always envisioned for myself. I wanted it to be my turn. And that's what started my journey. That's when I started testing. And that's when I started building. And that's when I ended up doing everything I can to maximize my current skill set of content creation and really master it as best as I can. And eventually that allowed me to create a system that actually helped me create my own freedom. And the best part is that now this system is doing the same for others. Jason Tate actually has an interesting story. He's a father at the time of these screenshots here. He's a father with an 8-year-old son. And he just got started with using the skill and making money with it online. Got his first sale for $17. But at the same time, his son would sit in the classes with us as we're teaching everything. And later on, we realized that his son was running up his own side hustle with the same skills that we taught. And his son brought in $1,500 per month. Imagine an 8-year-old putting in enough effort, posting the content they need to, following the strategies, and helping his dad bring in more money into the house. You really think about it. What is the first thing you're spending on when you make $1,500 as an 8-year-old? Now they turn that into a family business where they help each other out with this same skill to make more money. Karsika, 1K for the month as well. But as I keep showing you the results, as I keep showing you the systems, I want you guys to understand that this didn't just happen overnight. I didn't just accidentally become successful. Neither did they. I actually tried a lot of the same things you probably have. I've tried YouTube automation, I've tried running up an agency, I've tried becoming a streamer, I've tried becoming an influencer. I tried dropshipping with paid ads, TikTok Shop affiliate. Chances are, if it has to do with content and there's a side hustle that can be made with money from using that content, I've probably tried it before. But as I kept trying all these different side hustles, something clicked for me, especially as I'm watching all these make money online gurus talk about how they've made millions of dollars. What finally clicked for me wasn't that it was a new product that I needed or better ads or having to hop on a different business model. The thing that I realized was that I was misusing my content. The real secret behind it all was the way that I used my content and the systems that I built around it. And now that I knew that, I started testing again, but a bit differently. Now I started posting with purpose. I started building traffic systems as well. I started automating the back end and doing everything I can to learn more and more on how to be better at doing these three things. And that's what ended up turning into what I now call the creative cash flow growth machine. It wasn't about going viral or being an influencer. It was about understanding how content and offers can work together to create consistent cash flow that comes into my bank account daily. And once I got it right, it changed everything. I wasn't just some broke kid anymore. I was a guy who has actually learned a lot and experienced a lot to be able to change his life for the better, who took matters into his own hands to be able to really achieve specific results that he's always wanted. I've always wanted to experience what a lifestyle would be like to be in Miami, to scroll on my phone and be like, yeah, this is the money that I made for this month. I've always wanted to enjoy experiencing some culture moments with the team and having just candid moments at the sunset, going to boat parties and yacht parties, renting out yachts to meet new people, but as well as just have fun with the team. Same thing here, that laptop lifestyle that everyone dreams about. This video here wasn't even on purpose, honestly. I was just chilling, going for a swim after finishing a call, and I was just noticing that my phone was blowing up a lot and I need to get back to one of my students ASAP, the resources on my computer. I just asked someone to bring the computer for me, got the work done real quick so I can get back to swimming. They thought it was an amazing clip and they took it. And honestly, I think it's a fire clip too. And even then, I got to experience what it's like to live a lavish life, to be in some of my favorite cars, some of my dream cars, that people can't even fathom how they can get into. And again, this is all just the beginning. But the fact that I knew that I was onto something, the fact that I knew that I have already been able to change my life for the better, it made me realize that there is so much more that we're able to get done. There's so much more that we're able to do. What was most important for me was the fact that it was repeatable, that other people are able to use this same system to generate similar results for themselves too. Extra $300 for the day, an extra $3.6 thousand for the day. And this is at 12:10 p.m., mind you. The day just started, and if you made an extra $3,000, $433 for the day. First $100 day using the same system. And the thing that I find interesting about this system is that it's not public, it's not mainstream, and I didn't learn it from some big name guru. It was built by someone who was stuck, just like you, someone who just wanted to find a way to make it happen. Someone who wasn't willing to take no for an answer and was willing to do whatever it took to try his best to achieve a similar lifestyle. And once I saw that this system worked, not just for me, but for my students, I wanted to make it even easier to plug in. That's when it led me to create what I call the Creative Content Accelerator. This is essentially ready to go viral frameworks, a bunch of hooks you can use for your videos, content templates to follow, scripts that you can use and tweak so that you don't have to start from scratch each time. All of this is in the Creative Content Accelerator, things that will allow you to boost your content game from a 1 to a 10 like that. But the thing is, there's a catch. And the catch with it is that this bonus only works if you're following the creative cash flow system. Because without it, you're just creating content. But with it, once you take the Creative Content Accelerator and plug that into the creative cash flow growth machine, you have what turns content into real cash. And the best part about it is once you learn how to use it, you can rinse and repeat it. It's insanely scalable. You no longer have an invisible ceiling. You now have a system that works for you and content that does too. Now I know this all sounds good, but if you're like I was, you've probably been burned before. You followed the rules, you went to school, and you got that dream job. You followed the rules, you listened to everything your teachers told you listened to everything your parents told you got really good grades, you went to school, and you kept on doing that as well. You were still nurtured and indoctrinated in thinking that this was the path for you. You went to school for something that you don't even know if that's actually what you wanted to do as a career for real. But it was the path that everyone was saying was the good path. It was the safe path, right? Go to school for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, get a degree, get that piece of paper that shows you're actually qualified to do what you always have been doing. And eventually it led you to getting that dream job. And it's supposed to lead you to having a happy life too, right? This was the safe path that everyone was trying to convince me was the right path to follow. And at first I was convinced that maybe it was right. Maybe this is a life that's interesting to live. right? But then 1 month with the dream job, you're happy. 3 months go by, you're still happy. 6 months go by, a year goes by, you don't know if this is really what you want. 2 years go by, now you start to feel a little bit depressed, but at the same time, you need this job. You've already picked up a lot of debt from going to school, right? Because you've listened to the status quo. You tried to play it safe, but deep down, it never felt right. And it's only for one main reason. You knew you were capable of more. There's other things that you would like to be able to accomplish in your life, and the path that you're on doesn't allow you to accomplish these things. But every day you felt stuck. And I say this because I've been there too. This is exactly how I felt before I started helping others. But during that phase, that's when I realized I wasn't the problem. The real problem was the system. And I'll break this down a bit further for you guys. School teaches you to obey, not to create. You go to school, you wake up at a specific time, you make sure to catch your bus that comes in at the same time every single day. You go to class at the same hours. You can't go to the washroom as long as you raise your hand. Lunch is at a specific time. It was not fun. Jobs pay you just enough to keep you quiet, just enough for you to live, just enough to be a bit over broke, but never enough to set you free. Have you ever noticed when you get that paycheck after 2 weeks of hard work and you get that big check for that 2 weeks worth of work, but then you have to pay off all of your expenses, and within 24 to 48 hours, you're back down to like $100, $200 that you have to just stretch until your next paycheck. And although family and friends meant well, they were stuck too. They tell me things like, be grateful for what you have. Don't risk it. You have a good job. You're in a good place right now. Play it safe. But what they failed to understand was that safe was literally killing me. Every day felt the same. And at first, I wasn't worried about it. I enjoyed the work for the first few weeks, first month, first 3 months, first 6 months. But eventually, as more time went on, a running thought kept going in my head more and more as time went on when I was realizing this isn't for me. And the one thing that really struck for me is when I had one specific thought come into my mind that just wouldn't go away. You're wasting your life. You're wasting your potential. I'd wake up every day and that was a thought as I'm going into work. You're wasting your life. You're wasting your potential. I'm going back home, tired, can't really do anything. I'm too tired from work. You're wasting your life. You're wasting your potential. It got to a point where it didn't feel like I was actually alive. My consciousness wasn't there. I was running on autopilot. And if that sounds like you, if you're at a current point in time in your life where you feel like you're just existing, then I need you to hear this next part, because this is where everything changed. Because as soon as I've had that thought process, I understood that I need to question everything. Not only the beliefs of my families and friends and everybody else in society, but even my own too. And I want to show you guys some of the old beliefs that have stuck with me from basically birth until I decided to break out of it. Old belief number one, you need a degree to make money. Now, growing up, all I was told was that this is the only way to make money. I even had an uncle who was doing very, very good in business, and I was inspired by what he was doing. Every single time I saw him, I'd ask him the same thing. Hey, how do I get started with running my own business? Like, I want to be able to live a similar life to you, have the same sort of freedom. And he would tell me the same thing. You need to go to school, you need to get a degree to prove that you are able to do the work that you're able to do. But again, we've seen regular people, regular kids make $10,000 a month from their phone. Old belief number two, you needed to have it all figured out first. I thought that was the case too, but every single time I thought that, it kept pushing the needle back, making me think that I couldn't get started because I was missing this, I couldn't get started because I'm missing that. But in reality, no one starts off figuring it all out. Every person started it off a bit messy and figures it out along the way. Same thing with me. I had to test a bunch of times before I got to this point where I figured out the system that works. Another belief I had was more so towards content, because growing up, I've always enjoyed the content space. But I got to a point where I was thinking nobody will care enough to watch my videos. But I saw content that I thought was basic, content that looks like you would send to Snapchat buddies. And those pieces of content, those videos that everyone thought was basic, that didn't have any fancy editing or anything like that, those were the ones that were able to get millions of views. These were all beliefs that I've had for years. It took some time to break out of these limiting beliefs. Instead of choosing to keep believing them, I chose to pursue the truth. And the truth hit me hard. If I kept waiting, I'd still be in the same place next year. I'd be stuck with the same paycheck. I'd be stuck with the same frustration. I'd be stuck with the same invisible ceiling. And the thing is, if you really think about it, if you want to fight any of these, let's say you want to increase your paycheck, you could go and negotiate with your boss for an increase in your paycheck. And the most that'll happen, from what I've seen in my own experience, is being raised by like $1, maybe $2. Well, does that really change that much in your life though? Not really, just to keep you, right? And it's not even immediate. It's something that they're gonna tell you, oh, you gotta do this, this. Put a whole lot more work in just to get an extra $2 on your paycheck. And it doesn't really solve anything, because regardless, you will still feel the same frustration every single day? Is that same frustration worth the extra $2 on your paycheck that you negotiated for your raise? That same invisible ceiling where it doesn't matter how much effort you put in, doesn't matter how much work you put in, you cannot go further within your current position. Having these thoughts made me realize that staying safe was actually a lot riskier than just getting started. That the right way that people tell us is what we should follow usually leads to guaranteed regret. And with that realization, I told myself I don't want to live a life full of regret. I'd rather take action. I don't want to be on my deathbed thinking, oh, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. I would rather do it right now so I can be my deathbed saying, I'm happy that I actually did this. I'm happy that I actually did that. I at least gave it a shot. I gave it an honest attempt and put everything that I had into it because I knew there was something there. I just didn't know enough yet. And that's what started this new path for me. This new path I found wasn't perfect, but it was real. And that realization flipped everything for me. It made me understand that content wasn't just entertainment, it was currency. And after I hit my breaking point, I did what most people don't. I started experimenting. I wasn't trying to go viral anymore, but I was trying to build the right audience to sell to and then scale. Once I combined everything into my processes, that's when the creative cash flow growth machine was born. It became my weapon. It's a system that got me out of survival mode. It got me out of feeling undervalued, and it got me into a place where I'm making a real income just from using my phone for a few hours a day. And at first, it was just me getting small wins, big wins, but wins that I could actually be proud of. But then I shared it with a few people in my circle, and they started getting results too. $400 days, $2,000, almost $3,000 in a week with the same method. And we have a message here, bro. I literally cannot believe this. Thanks to the mentors for putting me on game, and thanks to God for making the opportunity possible to escape the 9-to-5. It all started here, and fast forward to now, I've helped students make their first dollar online. And here's the best part, it's not complicated, it's just hidden. This is not something you'll ever see in a random YouTube video. But what I want you to understand is that once you have it, once you have the Creative Content Accelerator, once you have the Creative Cash Flow Growth Machine, you'll never look at content the same again. To me, the craziest part about all this is that the things that were promised by the right way, the stability, the fulfillment you'll have, the freedom, I actually got them, but not by following their blueprint. It was by building my own. And what matters most to me is not that it's just working for me, it's that it's working for regular people too. They plugged in the system and they started getting results. And the system isn't complicated. When you have it, it feels like a cheat code, but when you don't, you're stuck trying to guess your way to freedom, trying to figure out how you can get there, and you spend so much more time that you could have skipped past just by having this glitch in the matrix, this little cheat code accessible to you. Now that you've seen what's possible, I want to spend the rest of the time talking about how this actually works. When I started building this, I realized that every content-based business that works hits these 3 keys. It solves a real problem, it gives you feedback and reinforcement, and it's simple to repeat and scale. I'll break each of these down further, but one thing that I want to mention is that the Creative Cash Flow Growth Machine is built around those 3 keys. So let's get into it. Key number 1, problem, create, get paid. The first thing you're gonna want to do is to find a group of people with a specific problem and help them solve it. This is where doing research comes in handy to figure out what type of problems people in a specific community have. And even using AI, now that AI and technology is so advanced, you could use that to help you figure out more and more about the audience that you're trying to reach out to help them find a solution for it. Once you find that group of people with the problem and find something to help them solve that problem, you create videos using proven viral formats. You just need to understand that if it went viral once, it'll go viral again. And if it goes viral, you start getting more traffic, and that traffic leads to you making more sales. As I told you guys earlier, I run organic brands as well, and this comes with using no ad spend. But when I want to sell a physical product to people to help them solve their problem, I would use Shopify and a supplier to be able to fulfill the demand and get that product sent out to them so that they are able to get the help that they need. If you don't want to sell your own product, that's fine as well, because you don't have to have a product to sell. You can actually affiliate for other brands and sell their products, as long as it's a product that you are satisfied with, a product that you stand behind as well. You can even offer your content creation skills as a service to other brands to help them grow some more too. The second key is reinforcement and feedback. And I think this is where most people fail because they try to do everything alone. But inside of Creative Cash Flow, you get weekly calls, you get feedback on your content, and you get support from people who are building just like you. And I made it this way because that's what I had. I had a mentor, And I had a group chat and I had a tribe of people who actually got it. It made it so much easier for me to have the belief that it's possible when I'm surrounded by people who also want to make it happen and with someone who has actually done it as well. Having this accessible to me made me realize that you're not supposed to figure this out by yourself. You're supposed to build it with the right people around you. And that's why I built Creative Cashflow, because I want to get a group of people who are actually serious together so that we can build things together and we can share what we learn along the way. Some people are going to be a few steps ahead than others, but at the end of the day, everybody can win. And I want to create a group of winners. The third key from this is that you can rinse and repeat the system, which means it's scalable. Once you have a video that works and a product that converts and a system that fulfills, you can do that as many times as you want. You can rebuild it as many times as you want. It's the blueprint that'll never do you dirty. As long as you have those three in check, you just rinse and repeat the system over and over and over and over and over again. And that leads to you making more and more and more and more and more money, all by using the same content system. You're just using new angles, you're using new offers, and you're carrying the momentum that comes with that. How we help is by giving you guys templates, giving you guys winning examples, supplier lists, product databases, everything that you need to be able to get started right away so that you don't have to waste time guessing and not knowing what works best for you, or at least the information that allows you to make better informed decisions as you go through the process. One thing that I need you guys to understand is that you don't need luck. What you really need is a machine, and this system is that machine. It only works this smooth when you follow the process and plug it into the system. What I showed you isn't complicated. At the end of the day, here's what the system boils down to. Step one, you just gotta find what people want. There's websites that allow you to be able to do this, like Google Trends, and you can use ChatGPT to be able to find better answers about that as well. Step two, you create content that gets attention, content that talks specifically to the person you want to help. Step three, you fulfill a demand that they need help with, and you collect the money from doing that. Once you do that once, you can do it again and again and again and again and again. If you're going the organic dropshipping route, nothing stops you from having multiple stores open. But before having multiple stores open, you need to understand what it looks like to have one good store. And then start adding more stores on top of that, right? And that's if you're selling your own product. If you don't have your own product to sell and you're affiliating for other people's products, or you want to use this same skill to help other brands grow, it's something that you can do again and again and again and again. As long as you have the system, it will always be repeatable. That's why I call it a machine, because once you turn it on and you put the consistent inputs in, it will always keep rewarding you and you'll never have to turn it off. The only time when people fail is when they try to do it alone, when they don't have the right system, the right tools, or the right guidance to really help them achieve what they need to achieve and the results that they actually want to achieve. So ask yourself, if you had a plug-and-play system, if you had a coach who already built it, if you had a team to support you, if you had a full blueprint, templates, product lists, feedback, training, everything you need to get started today without having to do any guesswork, all in one place, why wouldn't this work for you too? Why wouldn't you be able to achieve similar results to what you've seen me achieve? Why wouldn't you be able to achieve similar results to what you've seen my students achieve? That's why I built Creative Cashflow. It's to give people like you access to everything I wish I had when I started. This isn't a course for you to go through and just forget about. This is a coaching experience where we build the business with you step by step until you win. And in a second, I'm gonna show you exactly how it works, what's inside, and how you can join too. But let me ask you something. How long are you going to keep saying I'm meant for more, but not doing anything about it? That's one of the breaking points I've reached when I was first starting out. I always knew I was meant for more. You guys already saw my story. I knew I was meant for more and I wasn't going to take no for an answer. I was willing to do whatever it takes to be able to really reach my fullest potential. Now I'm asking you the same thing. How long are you going to keep saying I'm meant for more, but not doing anything about it? How much longer are you going to post for free, praying to go viral, not really knowing what works? How long are you going to keep scrolling aimlessly and just rotting your brain with information you don't need? How long are you going to keep doubting your potential while watching people with less skill, less knowledge, less experience build the life that you've always dreamed for yourself? You already know what it feels like to be stuck. You already know what it feels like to be undervalued. You already know what it feels like to wake up and wonder if this is really all life's going to be for you. Am I going to keep doing this until I'm 30, 40, 50, 60? But in this video, I wanted to make sure to show you that there is another way. And now you've seen that there is another way. You've seen the proof, you've seen the system, you've seen what's possible. So now the question isn't, can you do this? The question now becomes, When are you going to fix this? When is it going to become enough of a priority to you to change your life for the better? Let me officially introduce you guys to Creative Cashflow, which will be the only coaching program built to help you start and scale a 10K per month content-driven business from scratch. And I'm gonna tell you exactly how I'm gonna help you guys do this, because what's waiting for you on the inside is full access to the Creative Cashflow growth machine, weekly coaching calls for live feedback on what you're currently working on, viral content templates, plug and play scripts, product databases, access to our private community so you are never building alone. We are always just a message away. You get mentorship, you get progress tracking and hands-on guidance until you win. I'm also going to give you the Creative Content Accelerator so you can start posting money-making content right away. But this isn't open to everyone. We have limited spots for who we allow into our program, and we are carefully picking each person who applies to be able to join, because we want to make sure that the people that we pick and choose to hop into this private community are people who are not only going to help the community become better, but who really want to win, who really have the drive to make this happen for themselves. We're picking serious action takers that really have what it takes and are willing to do anything possible to be able to make that happen for themselves. If you're ready to stop watching on the sidelines while everyone around you and the people online start making more and more money by the day, if you're ready to stop waiting on another opportunity to come, thinking that you have all the time in the world, and you're finally ready to start building a life of freedom, a life that you truly deserve to build for yourself, click the first link down below to book a free strategy call with myself and my team so we can see if you are the right fit for our program. I want you to understand that if you've made it this far, it's because you know you are capable of more. It's because you resonate with what's been said here. And I want you to understand one last thing before we end this video, that this is your shot to change everything. You have the opportunity to change your entire life in a moment, because all you really have is a present. This right here is your one shot to change everything. And one thing that my mentors have told me and keep telling me to this day is that you are one decision away from changing your entire life. You're one decision away, you're one product away, you're one piece of content away. Don't let this opportunity pass you by while it's still here, because I don't want this one video to be the thing that you end up letting slip through your fingers and having to waste another year of the same paycheck, same frustrations, and same invisible ceiling, when you know you are able to do more. That if you put in enough work and you follow the systems and the right guidance, you are able to achieve more as well. So again, if you've made it to the end of this video, then you are probably someone who would be the right fit for this program. So make sure to click that first link, book that strategy call with us, and we'll see you guys later. Peace.